You met him on the street. He conceived a child with a man he met on the street?
It didn't happen on the street.
She said at a fruit store.
Anything not at parties, not at work or not through friends, is on the street.
What difference does it make? We're the same people that are at parties and at work.
No, they're not, because no matter what happens next, they'll always be privately thinking on the corner of 78th and 3rd. And then the abuse and the contempt will start. Because you were something he found on the street.
You can meet good ones on the street. Didn't you meet Donald on the beach? What's the difference? So there was sand.
It wasn't the beach, it was the vineyard. We were introduced. We had the same dances.
Well, you're in the thing.
How did you start talking to him?
Well, I was going through the bananas, trying to find the ripe ones, but all I could find were the green ones.
I'm not surprised.
I'd been aware of him in my peripheral vision. He was over by the Tangelos. He came over to the bananas and said, "The good ones are in the bin outside."
On the street.
On the street. So we went outside together and had this funny conversation about the difference between the fruit outside and the fruit inside. And how often it pretty much looks the same. It's always cheap outside. How do people who run these fruit stores make these decisions?
They try and move the rotten fruit.
Anyway, he pulled out a bunch and said, "These are the ones. They look bad, but they taste good." So I got one.
Did he pay?
I did. He bought some Hawaiian pineapple.
Big spender.
It was just like stood there and eat all this fruit together. We just started naturally walking back to my apartment. It was like we'd known each other a long time.
Well, why not?
Then he started to mix together the bowl of fruit and yogurt.
Before you did anything.
Yeah. And he said, "Why don't you let it sit for 15 minutes? It lets the juices really flow."
Oh, I like him.
At least he mixed the fruit, now that's something.
Then he started to prowl around my apartment.
What is that?
What?
Men, they always prowl around your apartment the first time they're in there. What are they looking for?
They're looking for signs of other men.
Well, he looked around and he examined my instruments. And you know what? He knew what they all were before I meant to tell him.
First man to ever identify a criminal.
He really went wild over my bassoon.
Oh, when did you take your clothes off?
That's funny, actually. He just said, out of the blue, "Let's go take a bath first." So I said, "Okay." Luckily, I'd cleaned the tub and bought some Bob Welford scented candle.
That was fortunate.
Who got in first?
He did.
Did he have a good body?
He looked beautiful.
Men aren't beautiful.
This one was. He has a gorgeous mouth.
God knows what that mouth's been.
Did he have a big schlong?
Nina!
What?
Do you ever ask questions like that?
There are other considerations in how long a man's memory is.
I wasn't thinking so much in length as in width.
Remember, it sounds like it belongs to some club.
It does.
Go on.
Then I know him.
Did he? So you had a beautiful body.
He didn't comment. We just greeted each other like old friends.
Who happened to meet in a bathtub.
The room was all sparkly. The bubbles were iridescent and we played with them. Then we dried each other off. I had these big rough towels that feel so good. I hid them on top of the radiator.
I'm getting fresh insight into your life, Claire.
I want to kill myself.
I'm into it.
Then we went into the other room. And I can't tell you the rest.
Don't